Somebody is trying to trigger you into saying something because they don't know how to process their emotions. And somebody is telling them, like misleading them for their own ulterior motives, but they're too dumb to realize it. So they keep repeating the pattern and letting it happen, even though that person is sabotaging them. On the other part, it's indirect communication because he wants to know, do you still care? Do you still even care? Like, if I try to trigger you, will you say something? Will you talk about this? Because I want to gauge how you feel. I want to see how you feel about this so I know how I feel. The other part is your husband's got a bitch on the side. That was from Will and Grace. Where's something about a notification, a letter, some kind of like obvious thing that says, oh, your husband's got a bitch on the side. Like, you didn't realize that. So his cheating was okay with him. You calling it out is you being narcissistic. But you're supposed to accept the abuse. That's where the rationale gets all muddied, because he wants to rationalize his behavior about having sex with somebody else, about talking to somebody else, about carrying on conversations with somebody else while he's leading you on, while he has a bitch on the side. That's his rationale. You calling out the problem and pointing out his behavior, that's the wrong thing. And then the other person, the one that he's with now, the one that he was cheating on you with, that bitch on the side, she is literally telling him, oh, she's, narcissistic. She's this, she's that. Because in her mind, she just wants to control and manipulate him into doing what she wants. Because that person is using him for money, using him for his energy. Because she's broke. She has problems. He, she, whatever. They are each other's karmic. They're codependent, and he wants to justify his behavior while blaming you, even though he cheated, because he doesn't feel right in his head when it comes to his inner child. He's never healed that. That's why he people pleases that woman, that man, to be like at that person's bended knee, begging for their attention because mommy used to treat me this way. It's a pattern. On the same spectrum, he is trying to guilt you into waiting for him to play this out to see how that plays out. Because he wants to justify his cheating, his lying, his insecurity that led him into these patterns to go and be with somebody else, to leave you, to be with you, to lead you on while he had a bitch on the side. My husband's got a bitch on the side. Oh, But that's not the problem. That's calling out that his behavior is the problem. That is narcissistic as fuck. That is covert as fuck. That is all sneaky, underhanded bullshit. But, I mean, if he wants to let the pattern keep repeating, that's because he wants to keep learning that lesson over and over and over, and he's getting something out of it. He has an ulterior motive, whether it be sex or money. The other person has the same kind of ulterior motive. They do it to each other. It's just sex. So your husband's got a bitch on the side, but that's okay with him. You're narcissistic because you called it out. Because you called out the fact that he was leading you on, cheating on you, then left you, and then blamed you for things. Instead of talking to you when he was, with you and addressing the problem and fixing the problem, he kept it to himself and got resentful and angry, and then started talking to other people and talking about it and trying to come up with, I want to say, indirect communication, like he's talking about you instead of to you. And the other person that he was talking to takes advantage of him. But instead of just asking you and getting the real story, he's asking somebody that has no idea what's going on. And they're coming up with their own interpretations because they want to, in a way, seem supportive. And on the other hand, there's an ulterior motive. So your husband's got a bitch on the side, but he's a cheater and a liar and led you on. And on this whole thing is to see if he can trigger you, to see how you will react to his behavior. He's checking. Are you still angry? Are you still angry at me, even though I cheated you and I had a bitch on the side? And I'm still there. And I'm still want to, now I'm thinking about leaving this bitch because I realize that they have ulterior motives and I know I did you wrong. But instead of talking to you about it, I'm going to act like a child and do indirect communication. I'm going to lead this person on while I try to see if you'll take me back indirectly, see if you still have feelings, see if I can trigger you. Like, talk to the person, go communicate with them. Stop being a child. And if you're not happy in a relationship, stop leading them on, because that is going to give you your karma. So, my husband's got a bitch on the side. But I can't stand up on my own 2 feet and say, I don't want to be with you anymore. I'm leaving. This isn't working. Goodbye. I'm going to lead you on while I, line up the next one and then leave that one in the same situation that I left you in the beginning. So he wants to know if you're going to be okay being the bitch on the side in that and the other relationship that he left you for, so that he can come back. But first he's going to, say it's your fault. Moral superiority to the cheating, the lying, the leading on, the secret communication. Everything that he wants to do again, but now with you against the other person, because he's realizing that's not working out. And instead of saying, I don't want to be with you and leaving, he does the same pattern again. And while he's doing that, he's having sex with that person all the time. So, your husband's got a bitch on the side, but I'm a narcissistic cheater and a liar, and I don't see nothing wrong with my behavior. So I'm going to, continue doing this so that way I can still have sex with that person, because I'm what is that called? I only care about myself. I'm self-fulfilling. I only care about my needs. I want to make sure I can still have sex, because I have to, I have to get off. I have to feel that release, that dopamine hit. And if I can't get that, then this sucks. And I have to face what I don't like about myself and all the things I keep doing, instead of, saying, oh, well, I'm doing that. Maybe I should stop. So, yeah. My husband's got a bitch on the side.